I'm position 6, representing Long City Council, which represents South Ward. Kim Bracken is the other South Ward representative. Some of you might be contemplating to be running for her position.
She's also mayor.
That's right. So yes, I'm also running. I also am serving as mayor this year, which means that I chair the business meetings, sign resolutions and ordinances, and have a few extra tasks in addition to a typical council member. I've been asked to speak to you about why I ran for office and what the job entails and what issues might be coming up on the horizon. The first question is very easy to answer. I ran for office because I want to bring this effort and community. I think that this is a fundamentally important qualification to run for city council. Serving as a council person in our community can be incredibly challenging and trying. Even the most resilient of council persons will find themselves asking at times, why on earth did I voluntarily commit to do this for 4 years? And if the answer isn't because I love this island and the community, and someone who cares about both needs to be here, then I really can't imagine how one wouldn't want to just pick up their toys and go home a lot of the time. What is it that makes being a council person in the community so difficult? Well, to most of you, it's probably no secret that we're incredibly engaged community. We have very high hopes and expectations. And it's also no secret that City Council has been a target of incredible amount of criticism over the years. And some of that criticism has been well deserved. I myself have been a vocal critic of City Council at City Hall and City Council. And there's nothing wrong with the vocal public or with criticizing our government or our elected officials. The difficulty lies in the manner in which such criticism is expressed and whether it's founded in fact. Unfortunately, as a council person, you will find yourself confronted at times with an incredible amount of hostility, and you will probably be accused of saying or doing or believing things that you have not, done not, or will not. And you will be assumed of power over everything at City Hall, from what brand paper clips are used to whether a particular employee is fired. And you don't. Much of it arises from a lack of information, misunderstandings, and the rumor mill, which can be quite frustrating when you might in fact have said, done, or believed something very different. And feel good about your position. In order for you to enjoy your time on City Council and to be productive, you must be someone who can look past the negativism and doubt and feel good about the decisions you're making and hopeful about the future. And recognize that there are many citizens who do appreciate your efforts. Part of the way you do this is by relying on your fellow council person, who will become as one former council person once you fight like siblings for better or worse. Which brings me to another essential qualification for a council person, and that is a collaborative and forgiving nature. Yes, that's right. You need to be as hard as steel and as soft as a puppy dog. Not only in your dealings with the public, but city staff and city manager and your colleagues. All of them will frustrate and disappoint you at some point, and as in any other workplace, you will need to work out your issues with each other. But public service is uniquely different from other workplaces. The public deserves a cohesive and effective decision-making body. And they deserve to be respectful and thoughtful-based, not gamesmanship or undermining behavior. And so it is essential that a candidate also be someone who can work effectively as one of several equals, but not necessarily like-minded members of the team. So why run for council if there's so much tension and frustration? Because in addition to being a great way to serve the community that you love, it's never boring and it's actually a lot of fun. You will become a jack of all trades, learning about and making decisions about everything from zoning to finance, to utilities, to buoys, to public broadcasting, to roosters. You will also have plenty of challenges to address, trying to keep the city financially sound footing while delivering essential services. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most of us to participate so directly in government. So now that I've given you my 2 cents about what it feels like to be a council person, and what touchy-feely attributes I believe are necessary to survive, let me give you some insight into what the job entails from a more practical point of view. Last year, the council chose to eliminate the standing committees in favor of establishing full council study sessions. As a result, the council meets at least once a week as a full body, not including the 5th Wednesday of the month. We alternate between business meetings and study sessions. There's almost always a weekly executive session also scheduled on Wednesday evenings. Now, this is if we don't add extra meetings. Business meetings generally begin with a 6:30 executive session, always scheduled to end by 9, and it's not unusual for us to finish earlier. At business meetings, we take public comment, pass resolutions and ordinances, conduct public hearings, receive presentations, make proclamations, operate contracts, take care of housekeeping matters, and generally try to avoid any items that will result in long discussion analysis. Study sessions are held in 2 sessions in the same evening. From 4 to 6, we work on staff-intensive items, such as the code update and strategic planning. And from 7 to 9, we try to focus on items that involve mostly council discussion and less staff presentation. We usually have an executive session at 6 during the break, and most of us try to grab some to eat at 7. We're usually pretty good about ending by 9, but sometimes run over. So every other Wednesday, you should expect to be there from 4 to 9 on. In addition to these Wednesday evening meetings, councilpersons have the option of serving on a variety of ad hoc committees where forms and issues need closer attention than can be accomplished when the full council is present and in the time allowed at formal meetings. Some of the key ad hoc committees we have had over the last year have included the Eagle Harbor Open Water Mooring and Anchoring Committee, the WSF Ferry Settlement Committee, for lack of better title, I don't know what it's called, the Court Relocation Committee, and the SMT Committee. We also have board meetings several times a year, or at least this year we will, last year was just one. These meetings are like small town hall meetings where we can listen at length to citizen concerns and ideas. Our next board meeting will be May 24th, in case you want to get one. The work of a council person goes beyond Bainbridge Island. We also represent the city on regional boards like Kitsap Regional Coordinating Council, the Board of Health, and the Puget Sound Regional Council. It's up to each council person to decide how many positions he or she would like to be considered for. Add to these meetings the amount of time that you are willing to put into answering the many emails and phone calls you will receive, and you should have a fairly good idea of the work that this position entails. I would guess that a council person could spend as little as 10 hours and as much as 50 hours a week on this job. It's entirely dependent on your availability and commitment. Finally, looking forward to the issues that you might anticipate tackling in 2012 and beyond, I would expect that we will continue for some time the challenging work of trying to help the city live within its modest means, while also building and maintaining adequate cash reserves. Strategic planning will continue, I'm sure. The comprehensive plan update will be due soon. I believe it's 2013, but still quote me. And most of all, I would say that you can expect roads, roads, and roads. So in summary, excuse me, sorry about this morning. If you are a resilient and collaborative person, sorry, that is down here, okay. If you are a resilient and collaborative person who is running because you love the island and because you want to help make responsible and sensitive decisions about how you see functions today and what the island will look like in the future, I think you'll have a good chance of being happy and effective council person.